Hari Om. Today we now take up mantra number 1 of section 2, new section of chapter 2. Let us see what the mantra is. Avi samnihitam kuhacharam nama mahatpadam atraitat samarpitam ejat prana nimishascha yadetat janatha sat sat varinyam param vijnanat varishtam prajanam. This is the stanza of the first mantra of the second section. Now the literal meaning of it is, word by word I am trying to explain to you, not explain, put it across to you. Effulgent, that is Avi, closely situated, samnihitam, this is the pattern where I am explaining. Moving in the heart, Uhacharam, Mahatpadam, the supporter of all. In him, all universe is centered. That which moves, breathes, and wings. Know that which is both formed and formless. That which is great and adorable, the highest of beings, the one beyond the understanding of creatures. This is the the translation of the stanza. Now let us see, try to explain this mantra to the extent that is possible. Now, adhering to the pristine Vedic style of presenting a subject, the Shruti draws a Virat, as if to say, a Virat word painting, a magnificent, majestic, wholesome word painting, as it were, of the entire contents of this section, that is section 2. In as brief as brevity could be, but each arrow of explanation or pointer of the explanation is pregnant with wisdom and loaded with symbolic phraseology. Thus, the very first mantra of this section provides us with a bird's eye view, a trailer show, as I would say, of the contents of the coming mantras of this section. Now the first word, Avi, means effulgent or bright. The awareness or the consciousness being the light that illumines our body, mind and intellect equipment, it is aptly described as bright or effulgent. Even a man without any knowledge of philosophy, in a general conversation, will say that I can see the ideas and feelings rising in me, even before he expresses them. I see. This is the phraseology we use during our normal conversations between two common men. If thus he can recognize these emotions and ideas even before they are expressed, think, even before expressing the ideas, when it is still germinated in my mind and intellect, I am aware of those thoughts and emotions, and therefore there must be present a light principle in him that illumined his emotions and thoughts before it came out. This light principle is the intelligence in his intellect. Now, this light referred above is not the light that is spoken of by the physicists. It is not the light of the physics. It is not an external object of experimentation, but is an internal power to experience. That is called avi, effulgent. Now the second arrow, samnihitam, existing very close. This awareness or consciousness that illumines all objects, emotions and thoughts emanating from us is and should be the closest object, if you can call it an object, to us. Nothing can be closer to myself than my own self. We may, in our vainful and stupid understanding, think that the closest to me is my body, even closer is my mind, even closer is my intellect. I hold my feelings and thoughts so close and dear to me. But the truth is that nothing is closer to you than the truth, the reality. This idea is graphically presented beautifully in the movements of Krishna with his flute. Krishna, as you all know, has got a flute in his hand. It keeps on tossing it between the right hand and the left hand at his free will. But wherever he goes, the flute is with him. He never forgets this in the flight or in the train or in the bus or in the car. He carries it along with him wherever he goes. Even he goes for love making with Radha, he carries the flute. Not only he carries the flute, even when he is embracing Radha, what does he do with the flute? Does he keep it on the table? No. He tucks it inside his dhoti and then embraces Radha. When he thus embraces Radha, what is the feeling of Radha? Radha feels Krishna is the closest to him. She is the closest to Krishna. There is none other than me who is closer. In her vanity, she thinks like that. I am closest to Krishna, or to Krishna I am the closest. But Krishna knows that my flute is the closest to me, even closer than my own Radha. In the same way, the very intelligence that enlivens our intellect is naturally closest to me. Not my body, not my mind, not my intellect. That effulgent power that makes my body feel, makes my mind feel, makes my body act, makes my mind feel, and makes my intellect think, that supreme power is the one which is closest to you. Sannihitam. Now the next arrow is Guhacharam, moving in the heart. Guhacharam. Chara means movement. Guha means cave, cave of the heart. Heart is indicated always in Vedanta as a cave. The heart referred here is not the medical heart. It is a spiritual heart. It is a universally accepted and acknowledged fact that heart is the seat of all that is humane. Everything humane germinates from the heart. It is therefore the innermost sheath in us, and naturally all precious things are stored in its chambers. Therefore, Rishi says that Atman, the self, the supreme, the reality is Guhachara. It is inside the Guha. It moves in the cave of the heart. Atraidat samarpidam. It is all surrendered. Mahatpadam. Mahatpadam. The next arrow is Mahatpadam. Great and support of all. The Atman, the self, the reality, being the cause of all manifestations, it is certainly greater than the effect and is indeed the very supporter and substratum of all effects. Atra etat samarpitam. The effects submit themselves to the cause. Isn't it? The shape, the name of the pot submits to the mud. The shape and the name of the ornament submits to the gold. The shape and the name of the wave submits to the ocean. As simple as that. And now the next three arrows are Ejat, Pranat and Nimishat. Etat, Pranat, Nimishat. Moving, breathing and winking. These three words symbolically represent and cover the entire created world or manifestation of both living and non-living. There is no creation in the world that do not carry out at least any one of these activities. Either it moves, or it breathes, or it wings, or it does both or three together. Now the Rishi concludes this mantra by guiding the Brahmana to realize that highest, which is beyond the comprehension of human intelligence. Now the last bit of the mantra, Param Vijnanad, meaning Vijnanad Param, beyond the comprehension of Buddhi. Beyond the comprehension of Buddhi, when we say, you are saying that this is something that you cannot understand. It may be misunderstood. And therefore one may come to the conclusion that self-realization or the Vedanta theory is an utopian midsummer dream. None with an iota of scientific temper would venture to make such a remark. The intelligence of the intellect can only illumine an external thought, but it cannot gauge its own intelligence. It cannot measure its own intelligence. We may say, let's say, ride on a aircraft, plane, or a train, or a car, bicycle, or even a bullock cart. We can ride on any of these vehicles. But I cannot ride on myself, because I am myself the rider. A rider cannot ride on the rider. I can only ride on an external object other than me, but cannot ride on myself. Therefore, with this spirit, the Rishi says, Sat Sat Varenyam Param Vijnanat Varishtam Prajanam. Param Vijnanat. This is beyond the realm of the intellect. Intellect has no jurisdiction over that body. I mean, the Atman, the self, the supreme, the reality. That possibly is the best way that any rishi can explain to the Brahmana something that cannot be explained. Yet he is trying to indicate pointers so that in that direction, when the student moves, he can catch hold of the truth, what is to be captured. This, in essence, is the first introductory stanza of this section. And as we proceed, we will try to develop the idea. Hari Om.